Hello there. It's good to have you join us again on Energy and You, a weekly show that brings you development in the energy sector with a focus on Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited. This week, the 22nd NOG Energy Week conference and exhibition kicks off, focusing on powering Nigeria's sustainable energy future. And NNPC Limited paves way for artificial intelligence advancements. And in-house innovation has been designed to improve efficiency and productivity. All these and more coming your way on the show today. I'm Egosa Igumbo, and this is Energy and You. Thank you for staying with us. It's still Energy and You. Well, let's begin with top stories making the rounds in the global energy space this week. Oil prices dipped in Asian trade at the start of the week as investors tread cautiously ahead of fresh economic data from top consumers, the United States and China. Iraq and French oil major Total Energies have signed a long-delayed $27 billion energy deal that aims to increase oil production and boost the country's capacity to produce energy with 4 oil, gas, and renewable projects. Signed in 2021, the deal has faced delays amid disputes between Iraqi politicians over the terms, but was finally closed in April when Iraq agreed to take a smaller than initially demanded stake in a project of 30%. Total Energies took a 45% stake, and Qatar Energy holds the remaining 25%. Brent crude futures fell 55 cents to $77.92 a barrel, and U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was at $73.31 a barrel, also after falling by 55 cents. Time for an update on the war on crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism.
From Nembe in Bayelsa State to Ohara in Delta State, the war on crude oil theft is on, and the industry-wide security collaboration continues to record remarkable progress. Following the receipt of credible intelligence, private security contractor engaged by NNPC Limited, Tantita Security Services, intercepted a suspicious vessel with cargo of crude oil on board on the 7th of July 2023. The vessel, MT Tura 2, owned by a Nigerian registered company, Holab Maritime Services Limited, with registration number RC813311, was heading to Cameroon with the cargo on board when it was apprehended at an offshore location. Preliminary investigations revealed that the crude oil cargo on board was illegally sourced from a well jacket offshore Ondo State. There was no valid documentation for the vessel or the crude oil cargo on board at the time of the arrest. Further investigation into the activities of the vessel at the Command and Control Center also revealed that the vessel has been operating in stealth mode for the last 12 years. Between the 1st to 7th of July 2023, a total of 156 incidents were recorded. 64 illegal connections were uncovered in the past week, mostly in Bras and Nembe in Bayelsa State, where disconnections and repairs are ongoing. 77 illegal refineries were discovered and destroyed in areas such as Emuoha in River State, Ogara, Oarefe in Delta State, and Eduwini in Bayelsa State. In these locations, thriving illegal businesses have been brought to a halt. 22 cases of pipeline vandalism were also recorded and are being repaired. 12 automatic identification system infractions were flagged using NNPC's maritime intelligence system and have been escalated to the Navy through NNPC's incident management and reporting application. 16 wooden boats used to convey stolen crude were confiscated in the past week, some in Bolo River State, while 4 cases of oil spill and pipeline vandalism were recorded in Bayelsa State and is being addressed. 76 of these incidents were recorded in the central region of the Niger Delta, 43 were recorded in the eastern region, while 64 took place in the western part of the Niger Delta's oil-producing region and 12 in the deep blue water. For NNPC Limited, there is no backing down on the war on crude oil theft until the menace is eradicated for good.
The 22nd edition of the NOG Energy Week Conference and Exhibition began on Monday in Abuja with the theme, Powering Nigeria's Sustainable Energy Future. Amongst other hosts of the conference, NNPC Limited, as the principal sponsor, was fully represented by top management of the company. The event has delegates on the energy space from Africa and around the world.
The 22nd edition of the NOG Energy Week Conference and Exhibition officially opened with an array of exhibitors, industry players, energy experts and regulators. Being the principal sponsor, NNPC Limited's Group CEO, Mr. Melekari, represented by the Executive Vice President Upstream, Adoke Tombomie, conducted the opening ceremony on behalf of the company.
We're here to discuss policy implementation, project developments, investment opportunities and solutions to current industry challenges, and more importantly, on how to decarbonize traditional oil and gas operations. On behalf of NNPC Limited and all other conference sponsors, I welcome all industry players to the 2023 Energy Week.
During the conference, discussions and debates will border on the strategies that will increase investment flow into Nigeria, enhance industry operations, and promote international partnership. The NOG 2023 themed Powering Nigeria's Sustainable Energy Future is one of Nigeria's notable international conferences.
We are also going to be doing a lot of R&D research into energy storage. We know renewable energy sources are mostly intermittent, so you need some backup to be able to store it. And currently, typically we use batteries, but we need to now optimize those batteries. Instead of now we use a lot of lithium ion, but I think we need to go further. There has been some research recently that shows sodium ion batteries deliver more mileage when you put them in electric vehicles. And so more mileage, more efficiencies. And so these are the kind of research that should not continue. These are the kind of positives that we expect to take going forward into the new company because, like I said, the opportunities are numerous and it's going to be an exciting journey going down the line.
Now, we have a number of people that have invested in training facilities. We want to sustain those facilities, and the only way we sustain them is to funnel jobs into those facilities. From the report of the Bureau of Statistics, a number of those facilities disappear within a year or so. Yeah, so how do we sustain them? Are we doing well? I'll still leave that as a red. After that's opened Africa to us, people are looking for where to train. We are still pushing jobs to Europe and America to get our training. So we need to make Nigeria the hub for training. We have very brilliant people here. They should come to Nigeria to train. If they come here for their training, then they bring in the much desired foreign exchange to our country, and our economy will be better. Not so. So they're not doing that. How do we make this place the hub for training? How do we create that level of expertise such that people will come in here to train their people and to sustain that for the years to come?
Here, another speaker focuses on exploring emerging opportunities for future energy demands.
We can easily up our share of contribution to manufacturing from 1.9% to numbers that are way beyond that. But we need to do that in a very strategic sense, understanding very well the drivers for increase in energy to manufacturing sector. And underlying all this is the fact that, like we said, we are an extremely rich continent when it comes to reserves.
In the last 20 years, this annual event has played host to over 75 countries and over 50 national and international oil companies, as well as highly strategic sessions that offer sustainable business and networking opportunities. A prominent feature of the Energy Week is the tour of the colorful yet business-like and informative exhibition booth, as well as the showcase of glamour on the sidelines.
NNPC Limited's renewed business focus towards revenue generation, increased production and compliance to its reform agenda has led to more collaborations with critical stakeholders. The main objective is to deepen delivery and ensure massive investment in human capital development in compliance with the Petroleum Industry Act, which governs the transition process in the oil and gas sector. To this end, NNPC Limited was recently involved in an interagency retreat organized with the aim of proffering strategic solutions in revenue generation through the navigation of the Petroleum Industry Act.
The retreat, which was organized by the Monitoring Committee of members from NNPC Limited, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and the Federal Inland Revenue Service, has the mandate to enumerate strategic measures to accelerate revenue generation, engage petroleum profits tax and royalties. The committee intends to achieve this through the harnessing of opportunities, prospects, and proffering clear solutions to the challenges hindering revenue generation. Senior Business Advisor to the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Mr. Lawal Musa, spoke on the topic, NNPC Transition, Post-PIA Realities.
More importantly, what does the PIA provide for is simply a shift. Nigeria has to develop. Nigeria relies on hydrocarbon. But for you to transit out of the hydrocarbon, you must have the value creation. And that value creation can only come from three things. One, regulatory space has to be very clear, with clear roles, policies separate, regulatory space separate, and you have the operator on the other side. So this is one clarity that PIA has introduced.
Mr. Musa also shared his wealth of experience to educate the participants on the profound transformation NNPC Limited has witnessed in the various business sectors of upstream, downstream, new energy, as well as non-core businesses, which has helped the company operate efficiently. Applauding the interagency collaboration, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission noted that the committee has provided a proactive platform to harness a great deal of value to the country. The agency secretary and legal advisor, Mrs. Olayemi Ayanedu, who represented the Commission's chief executive, Engineer Benga Komolafe, recounted the Commission's giant strides since the passage of the PIA.
The PIA today, 74 host communities development trusts are being incorporated to map out modalities for the identification and implementation of developmental projects within the concerned host communities. We believe this will engender peace in those communities, secure the life, investments of the operators and their employees, while ensuring an increase in oil and gas production in Nigeria.
The executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Services, Mr. Mohammed Unami, noted that the retreat was organized to foster unity and synergy among all participating agencies as they embark on a new era under the PIA. He was represented by the Coordinating Director of Special Tax Operations Group, Hajia Amina Adu.
Today's gathering is the testament of our collective commitment to improve the business climate and revenue profile of our country.
The Director of Banking Services, Mr. Samuel Okejere, represented the acting governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. For the CBN, the speed of adoption, the dynamics of innovations, disruptions, risk, cost and cybersecurity to banking operations have become a subject of discussion in several fora.
The 2022-2023 retreat is timely, especially given the development in the petroleum industry, which borders around the implementation of the PIA and the removal of subsidy of petroleum motor spirit, among others.
The Interagency Committee was set up about 20 years ago by the federal government of Nigeria with the aim to improve revenue generation through petroleum profits, taxes and royalties. The committee is making significant progress in this area, especially as the Federal Inland Revenue Services has collated revenue of about 10.1 trillion naira in the 2022 fiscal year. It is noteworthy that 55% of the revenue was derived from the oil and gas sector.
Time now for a short break. When Energy and You returns, one of NNPC's business units seeks to advance effective telecommunications services nationwide. We'll catch up on the exciting news in a moment. Do stay. Thank you for staying with us. Now, the National Petroleum Telecommunications Limited, NAPET, recently declared its intention to expand its mandates by enhancing efficient and effective telecommunications service delivery across Nigeria. NAPET, a subsidiary of NNPC Limited, mandated to upscale the company's telecommunications infrastructure and pursue value optimization, made its intention known during an interactive session with the Nigerian Communications Commission during a courtesy visit.
A delegation of management staff of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, received the National Petroleum Telecommunications Limited, NAPET, led by the Managing Director, Yerima Sanusi. The courtesy visit to the communications agency is to seek partnership to actualize the laudable mission of solidifying NAPET's commitment to improve telecommunications infrastructure and pursue value optimization.
How do we do it is by expanding what we have. That is the all fiber that we have, which is about 980 kilometers. Yeah. We intend to expand it to 7,000 kilometers. Wow. Because we saw that in our country there is still room for fiber deployment. Oh, yes. The implementation fiber is desirable. Our business model remains as we should have a partner and float an SPV and run a business.
While encouraging partnership that would foster the growth of telecommunication infrastructure, Mr. Sanusi stressed that NAPET's dedication to build and expand the digital superhighway would improve the lives of potential service consumers and all Nigerians. He noted that the project aligns with the company's vision for national development through advanced telecommunications infrastructure. Represented by the Executive Commissioner, Stakeholder Management, Mr. Adeleke Adewolu, the Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of NCC, Professor Umar Dambata, expressed the Commission's readiness to collaborate and partner with ideas that advance national development through the telecommunications industry.
Our mandate has been to develop a telecoms industry for the benefit of all Nigerians. And in that light, we're happy to see that even sister agencies are working with us. Telecoms, as you know, is the future. Indeed, people tell me that one of the biggest untapped areas in telecoms is the oil sector, particularly I'm not sure whether, forgive me, I'm not an oil man, so I struggle to know which is upstream and which is downstream. But I understand within the Niger Delta region, there's a vast amount of data which needs to be transmitted properly through the network, so there are opportunities in there.
NAPET's vision is to provide effective and efficient telecommunications and IT services not only to NNPC and the oil and gas industry, but also to other interested parties. As the nation strives to bridge the digital divide and accelerate its development, initiatives in collaboration with crucial stakeholders is a significant step in improving telecommunications services and expanding broadband penetration throughout Nigeria. It is also crucial in creating a connected and technologically advanced society.
Strides taken by NNPC Limited to significantly enhance business efficiency have seen some of its business units benefiting from a successful software robotic project developed by the company's research Technology and Information Unit. The innovation is to streamline operations and significantly enhance effectiveness and work performance in alignment with NNPC's business objectives. Take a look.
Excited and charged with renewed vigor to deliver on its mandate, the Research, Technology and Innovation (RTI) unit of NNPC Limited recently shared its success story on a newly deployed project, the Robotic Process Automation (RPA). The RPA is a robotic software innovation that is fashioned to significantly improve workforce efficiency and productivity. The Chief Innovation Officer of RTI, Munirumai, sheds light on this groundbreaking initiative and shares insight into the future of automation at NNPC Limited.
We figured that, we can actually help NNPC staff perform higher value tasks by relieving them from performing these mundane, time-consuming tasks that usually, sometimes takes them days on end, when the computer can actually do it, in a very short amount of time. Sometimes tasks that can take the human hours, can be performed by RPA robots in just seconds. So we figure, why don't we actually research into that so that we can now free up our staff, to perform higher value adding tasks.
Before the advent of the Robotic Process Automation, RPA, compiling reports for management consumption was a time-consuming and laborious task. Mr. Mai stated that the RPA initiative came up as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, during which a remote work era was initiated worldwide. Ever since, the team has explored the potential of RPA beyond remote work applications.
Our idea in RTI is to research into something that we can help the organization, hand off to computer systems, to perform, since we cannot have the humans, in the offices, to actually perform those tasks. That now resulted into identifying candidate processes, from across the business. And then, we started out with about 4 or 5 that today we are talking about celebrating their achievements.
The manager regional accounts of NNPC Retail Limited, Mr. Lawan Ahmad, also spoke on the situation for the software innovation and how it has benefited his company, which has the mandate of product distribution and sales.
NNPC Retail, we have all the outlets across the country. So until all the outlets are done with the business of the day, they close, then you now begin to take all the data from the transactions of the day to do your report. And this takes a lot of time. The RTI came at the right time. That has taken off almost all the challenges off me.
Mr. Ahmed added that the deployment of RPA robotics has particularly revolutionized the lodgement of reports, a challenging and time-consuming task. In particular, the software handles data extraction, calculations, and other complex tasks. Another beneficiary of NNPC's innovation of the robotics software and artificial intelligence is the Nigerian Pipeline Storage Company. The robotic software assists the business unit in generating management operations reports.
NPSC is a big SBU. We have 5 asset groups, area offices referred to at that time. And then each of these assets send their reports, which is then collated by just one person. And it's kind of time consuming, and because it's routine work, it can really be, one can easily get tired of it. So those were really the challenges. RPA report, after the deployment, it helped by, the collation now is done faster. I'll just say it's efficiently done.
Some specific business units within NNPC Limited have benefited as well, such as the Group Treasury, where software has been deployed to streamline bank reconciliation processes. NNPC Limited stands at the forefront of innovation, embracing robotics and automation to drive efficiency, empower its workforce, and shape a future marked by technological advancements. Going forward, an ambitious roadmap for innovation at NNPC Limited sees the company leveraging on the power of artificial intelligence to enhance oil production, refine advanced methods, and make significant strides in the transition to renewable energy.
The 22nd edition of the NOG Energy Week Conference and Exhibition began on Monday in Abuja with a theme, Powering Nigeria's Sustainable Energy Future. Amongst other hosts of the conference, NNPC Limited as the principal sponsor was fully represented by top management of the company. The event gathered delegates from Africa and around the world from the energy space. The high-level international conference also offers opportunities for networking amongst other side attractions. Here are sights and sounds from the events. Thanks for staying with us on the program. You can get all the updates of the ongoing Energy Week conference on all our social media handles showing on your screen. You can also catch up on all episodes of Energy and You by scanning the code on your screen now. I'm Elgosa Igumbo. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again. Bye for now.